So we just looked at methods and now we're going to look at feedback. So Sarah, we get so many questions about feedback. Can you explain what it is?
Yep, so we have two different types of feedback, hot feedback and cold feedback. Hot feedback happens as you are speaking, so we might interrupt you to correct you, and cold feedback happens after the activity's finished.
And can you explain why we use these?
Yep, so we use hot feedback when we want to focus on using accurate language. So this is often grammar, or it could be using certain phrases correctly.
Okay, sounds straightforward. So what is cold feedback?
Cold feedback happens after the activity, and that's because we really want students to focus on fluency at this stage. We do this at several stages throughout the lesson, and the teacher listens while you speak with your partner or your group and makes some notes about the language that we want to focus on later. We also write down some good examples of language that we would like everybody to hear. We don't interrupt you at this stage because the communication is really more important than the mistakes that you make.
What kind of language do we usually look at?
Well, the first one we often look at is using language that sounds more natural as an alternative to textbook speak. For example, saying, "Hiya, you're right," instead of "Good afternoon, how are you today?" And another thing that we like to do is upgrade the language.
And what is upgrading?
Upgrading basically means improving. So we're looking at using alternative vocabulary to more common ones, such as delicious.
Ah, you mean like scrumptious, lovely, taste sensation, party in the mouth?
Yes, exactly. This shows that you have great range, and that will help with your fluency as well.
Anything else?
Yes, we also focus on correcting mistakes, things like common errors, like language which is too formal, too impolite, or grammar or vocabulary mistakes. And we'll often also correct your Konglish.
Can you give some examples of Konglish that you hear a lot?
Yeah, of course. So we have words like skinship, which doesn't exist in English. And then there's also one piece, which in Korea means a dress, but in English it means a swimsuit or a swimming costume. And then we have really common ones like 1+1, which was super confusing for me when I first got here, and Dutch pay.
Ah, you mean split the bill?
Yes, exactly.
And what are the benefits of cold feedback?
So during the final speaking task, you'll have a chance to use the language that we upgraded in the previous part of the lesson. You can also review it and hopefully use it in a later lesson or even outside the classroom.